Hello, Namaskaram. Mangalam in Sanskrit, as we know, means auspicious, welfare, and good fortune. Every human endeavor is considered a divine blessing, and praying for auspiciousness to pervade the universe is rooted in our tradition and practice. Mangalam, as a musical composition, thus occupies a special place in Carnatic music. Although the Mangalam is sung as a concluding prayer for auspiciousness to all and everything around, it occupies a unique place in our singing tradition to highlight the invisible principle of auspiciousness lacing through the fabric of life. By consciously connecting to the macrocosm of auspiciousness through a means of sadhana, we could manifest the microcosm of the same in our own lives. This album attempts to facilitate a connection to the treasure house of auspiciousness, to reap one's own portion of it, to experience the same. The album is made up of renditions that are usually sung at the end of an event. Unlike in a concert, there is no end here as the auspiciousness is eternal. Why this album and what is special about it? Creativity is the hallmark and an intrinsic aspect of Muraligánam, and it aesthetically spans each and every part of any concert presented by Dr. M. Balamuralikrishna or BMK. Be it a Varnam, a short rendition of a Kriti, or a detailed RTP, or even a Tilana, when presented by him, that particular specific musical work assumes its full life, dancing with all its splendor by enveloping the perceptual listener in all of us, giving us thus an experience of both the individual and the collective in nature. If each of the pieces presented by BMK could offer such an experience of vivid and vibrant emotions, what would each Mangalam sung by him then demonstrate? With this premise, when the idea of collating all the Mangalams rendered by BMK for this project formed, and as the album work progressed, the festive radiance emanated by all these became clear gradually. It was irrespective of the deities, spiritual personalities, and masters, culture, and languages eulogized in the lyrics of the Mangalams. The festive radiance in his renditions gives us an idea of BMK's ability to witness the fundamental principle of auspiciousness, which is not limited to a particular deity or guru, but its pervasiveness that envelops all of us. We can also gather that his Mangalams prompt us to consider the incredibly lofty perspective of recognizing that we all live in the auspiciousness at all times. Varieties of Mangalams in Muraligánam, an overview. As we know, conventionally, ragas such as Madhyamavati, Surati, Saurashtra, and Sri Ragam are usually rendered for the Mangalams as a concluding prayer of auspiciousness at the conclusion of an event. A particular Mangalam composed by Tyagaraja in his Prahlada Bhakti Vijayam has come to stay as the preferred concluding item, although the saint composer has several Mangalam compositions to his credit. In the works of Tyagaraja, we find a variety of Mangalams composed in various other ragas like Ganta, Kedaragaula, Nadanamakriya, Dhanyasi, and Mohana. BMK, a musician par excellence, coming from the lineage of the direct disciples of Tyagaraja, has also composed Mangalams in various ragas on different deities, masters of music, and on his own illustrious guru. These compositions and renditions give us an idea of how the auspiciousness The very heart of the concept of Mangalam pervades all that surrounds us, the various forms of divinities, the diversity of culture that we live in, the numerous languages we speak and hear, and all those great people who lived only to inspire the humanity towards a worthy goal. When we listen to this album, we can observe how BMK brings a uniform and similar sentiment in all the renditions to highlight that underlying principle of auspiciousness. In other words, the lyrics and ragas seamlessly change as you listen, but the intended emotion is firmly rooted in the one principle of auspiciousness. What is in this album, or what does the album contain? This collection contains about 25 Mangalams rendered by Dr. Mangalampalli Balamuralikrishna in various events, places, and in the moments of his creative mind, finding an opportunity of expression. These musical compositions of several masters entreat the various gods and spiritual masters, adore the culture we live in, admire the language we speak, and celebrate the gurus we hold in reverence. It is to seek goodness by paying respect through a song of praise about them. Saint Tyagaraja himself has composed about 10 Mangalams, and we can listen to most of them in this album, all at one place. BMK sings 15 different ragas for the rendition of 25 Mangalams in this album, permeating that spirit of auspiciousness. How the Mangalams evolved in Muraligānam over time. When BMK composed the Kritis in 72 Melakarta ragas, he had also penned a Mangalam in praise of Kanaka Durga, the presiding deity of his hometown Vijayawada. The Mangalam in the raga Madhyamavati is centered on offering a gratitude for the successful accomplishment of composing Kritis in all the Melakarta ragas. BMK used to render this composition, Mangalam Giritanaye, regularly in his concert of 1970s by selecting a few relevant stanzas from this composition of his earliest times. It was suitably modified based on the concert setting. Prior to this Mangalam, the well-known Mangalam in the raga Saurashtra, Ni Nama Rupamulaku of Saint Tyagaraja was regularly featured in his concert of 1960s. When these two Mangalams were being heard, a LP record of Bhadrachala Ramdas, Kritis, released in 1977, became very popular. BMK started singing Ramachandraya Janaka in the raga Navaros as a Mangalam. It is noteworthy to mention here that BMK is one of the foremost musicians to give credit to the Mangalam of Bhadrachala Ramdas in a concert platform which gained a stature of its own in the long journey of Murthy. Every concert goer would perhaps recall how the audience then had known the lyrics by heart and would then sing them together by clapping, cheering, and joining the cheerful BMK as he rendered it. Keeping the same tune of the raga Navaros, BMK has composed several other Mangalams on various deities, some bilingual compositions, and a moving Mangalam on his own guru. Most probably, BMK could be the only Vaggeyakara who has composed several Mangalams on Lord Ganapati, the remover of all obstacles. It is interesting to note that some of his concerts used to start with a Varnam on Ganapati and also end with a Mangalam on Ganapati. This album too begins with a Mangalam in praise of Lord Ganapati.